All of a sudden, there's this emotion, this emotion that he had never experienced called fear. Now, we know that he didn't have fear before this because God doesn't give us fear. And God, Adam wouldn't have had anything previous to sinning that God didn't give him. And the reason he felt this fear, the reason he was afraid is because I was naked. Now, when you're naked, you're fully exposed. You have nothing to hide. How many of us, men and women, are still afraid to be fully exposed? How many of us are still afraid to truly open up and let people see who we are and see what we're about, see all our flaws? How many of us still, to this day, thousands of years later, are scared of that? Verse 11, and he said, who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? This is very interesting because God asked him two questions. Who told you that you were naked? And did you eat of the tree? Adam goes on to answer only that he ate of the tree. He never answers who told you. I want to ask you, who told you? Who told you that you were too big? Who told you that you were too fat? Who told you that you were ugly, that nobody would want you? Or now that you have kids and you don't have a husband, that nobody's going to want you now? Who told you that? Who told you that you're too young or you're too old? Who told you that? Where are we getting these things that we believe? On my Facebook page, because I'm loving Facebook. I don't know what happened to me, but I'm loving it. I posted a question, and it said, tell me about some of the myths or sayings that you've heard throughout the years that, may or may not be true. Here's some of the stuff I got. All men are the same with different names. Let's see how to say this politically correct. All men I can't do it. All black men look alike. All white men look alike. When it rains and the sun is shining, one person said God is crying. Another person said the devil is beating his wife. Who told us this stuff? If you swallow your gum, it takes 7 years to digest. If you step on a crack, you break your mama's back. Never stepped on a crack, Ma, I love you. Throw salt across your shoulder to get rid of bad spirits. Throw water out the back door on New Year's for good luck. If you keep crossing your eyes, they'll get stuck like that. Don't walk under a ladder. Don't let a black cat cross in front of you. Break a mirror and it's 7 years bad luck. Amazing all these comments I got. Don't spit in the wind. My brother had a less inappropriate one for church about throwing fluids in the wind, but women shouldn't wear pants. Women shouldn't preach. So there's all these things that we have that somebody has told us and we believed them. And a lot of it is nonsense. And we have to evaluate who told us this stuff. Where are we getting this stuff from? Because, when Adam was told that he was naked, first of all, he believed it. And I'm a big C.S. Lewis fan. I'm a big Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian fan. And for those of you who've seen Prince Caspian, there's a great scene in there. To recap it real quick, Chronicles of Narnia, these kids go to a land and there's these animals that speak and they're friendly and this type of thing. So in Prince Caspian, the second movie, they go back to this land. They haven't been there in a long time. The land has been corrupted. It's now evil. And there's a little girl, and she sees a bear. And she goes running to the bear. She starts talking to the bear and goes run. Because the last time they were there, the bears were cool. They were friends. They were nice. And the bear stands up and growls at her, and she's like, what? She doesn't understand because she's used to the bears, being friendly. And the bear comes to attack her. She runs, and of course, she can't run 10 feet without falling. And then she can't get up. This 6-year-old girl, perfectly healthy, can't get up. And so the some kind of guy, I don't know what he shoots the bear and kills him. And the girl says, he couldn't speak at all, could he? And the little guy says, if you get treated like a dumb animal long enough, you'll start to act like one. And how true is that if we're being honest with ourselves? Do we act like that? How much do we say, oh, well, people keep telling me this. People keep telling me I can't do this, I can't do that. It must be true. It's got to be true because all these people keep telling me and keep telling me. The other thing is that this caused Adam to fear. We know that fear is the opposite of faith. We know that faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word. But fear also, a lot of times, comes by hearing. And you have to be very careful who you allow to speak into your lives, what you allow yourself to listen to. If I keep listening to something, eventually I'm going to believe it. If music is my thing, I don't want to step on anybody's toes because music's not really my thing. If it was my thing, and I keep listening to this same stuff, at some level, it's going to influence my actions. There's no escaping it. And a lot of times, I think our lack of faith is not necessarily that we don't believe God or that we don't trust that God can do this or come through. A lot of times, we doubt ourselves. In my life, I can think of times where God told me to do something, and I said, well, God, was that you? Not because God didn't say it, because I don't know if I really trust the fact that I believe he said it. Or, God, can I do that? The other day I sinned, I did this. You remember that? You think that you're not qualified, or you think for whatever reason that you can't do it. Not necessarily that God can't do it. I think we all believe God is God. I mean, even people who aren't saved, when you think of the concept of God, that's a pretty amazing concept. An almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing being who created everything. Have any of y'all ever been to the beach? I mean, you look out, and it's forever. And he created all. How do you create a cow? How do you create a cow? I mean, how do you create something that eats grass, drinks water, and produces milk? I mean, God? I don't think we really doubt God as much as people say that we do. I think it's more of we doubt ourselves. That's right. And a lot of that comes from who told us about ourselves? Who told you about yourself? Who told you who you are and what you have and what you don't have? Another thing that this did was it caused Adam to run away from God. It produced an action in his life. And this is why who told you is so important. Because these things are the same things that happen to us. When someone tells us something, if we believe it, it can produce faith or fear. And a lot of times it'll produce an action. Go with me to Colossians chapter 3. And I got to tell this other story. I can't spend all my time telling stories, but my sister, when I was 6 years old, came to me, and she, I don't know why she did this. She said, Evan, do you know where you came from? I was 6. I was thinking about what toy I could play with next. It never crossed my mind where I came from. She said, You know that Kmart